Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6 a.m.
A historic day in the nation's capital as President-elect Trump gets set to be sworn in for the second time. The prep's underway and the promises he's already making for once he takes the oath of office.
A young boy killed while out riding his bike. The charges the driver who hit him is now facing as neighbors come together calling for safety changes.
And another blast of winter weather in Central Florida. Candace is here pinpointing the chill we are in for today and when the coldest air of the season is going to arrive. Good morning on your Monday at 6 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Bridget Ellison, and Trooper Steve's watching your roads, and Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos here with a frigid forecast.
I'm trying to think of what's the big story. Today, temperatures are going to stay in the 40s and 50s, but then tomorrow, it's almost going to feel tropical in the rain department, but still feeling like winter. Okay?
Sounds rather miserable.
Sounds like a stay-in day.
Yeah. Which is why I'm calling tomorrow another inconvenient weather day, not because it's just going to be off and on rain all day long, but it's also going to be kind of cold and raw and yuck, I know. And of course, everyone has to head back to school and work tomorrow, everybody. 40 degrees is our temperature right now in Marion County. We have now dipped into the 30s in Flagler. Now, this cold air is taking its time getting here into Central Florida, which is why you can see exactly where that cold air currently sits. We're at 46 in Sanford, 43 in Claremont, but just a few miles to the south, we're still all in those low 50s. So we do have freeze warnings for some Flagler, Marion County, as there will be the potential some of those more sheltered neighborhoods could get down to the sub-freezing temperatures, not just by sunrise, but as temperatures continue to tumble even throughout the day. Cold weather advisories, that extends even further south to Sumter County as temperatures, actual temperatures could be dipping down into those 30s. So kind of widening out the view. We had a cold front that's bringing in that cold air. You see the blue there on the map. Only problem in this cold front, it really likes Florida. It's going to stall itself right across the south for the next couple of days. But then we have a couple disturbances out over the Gulf that are going to ride in over the cold weather. What does that mean for us? And who could see some snow in Florida? We'll have more details on that coming up in just a little bit. It's not us, by the way. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
Thank you.
Before people start jumping to conclusions.
Because people will start tripping out right away this morning. You're going to be like, well, I heard Candace say this, and it didn't happen. And then the inbox blows up, and it's like, guys, like, you really think you're going to see snow in Melbourne? No, it's not going to happen. 192 looking pretty good this morning, east and westbound. Pretty much if you're in Osceola or you're in Orange, southernmost portion of our viewing area down here. State Road 91, Florida Turnpike at the 192. This brings us right down to State Road 60, all the way down south of the Kenansville area. You're clear all the way then northbound, whether you take 441 or Florida Turnpike back up to the city limits of St. Cloud. Nice and clear this morning. Kissimmee, I'll throw you in there as well. Also running smooth. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. After months of campaigning and a historic Election Day victory, President-elect Donald Trump is set to take the oath of office for his second term in just hours.
At a rally last night, Trump promised a series of executive orders following his swearing in, covering everything from the border to diversity programs. Jared Hill's in Washington with details on what to expect. News 6's Matt Austin also in Washington right now, speaking to Central Floridians, including some who have had to change their plans because of the impacts the cold weather's having in D.C. today for the events. His live report is coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Millions of TikTok users are breathing a sigh of relief this morning. The social media app back online after a ban in the U.S. lasted just hours. And this morning, the company behind the platform is crediting President-elect Trump. News 6's Mark Lehman is following the latest live, and Mark, Trump says he'll be addressing the ban later on today.
Yeah, President-elect Trump says he'll issue an executive order before the end of the day. That announcement was enough for TikTok to restore service to the 170 million American users here in the United States. But even though things are back up and running, there's still a lot of questions about what will happen next. TikTok has said that it would work with the Trump administration to find a long-term solution, but what that solution is remains to be seen. The politicians on both sides have argued that saving TikTok would require a new law. For now, reporting live in the Content Center, Mark Lehman, Getting Results, News 6.
Thank you, Mark. An emotional scene in Apopka as people came together remembering a 6-year-old troopers say was hit and killed by a repeat DUI offender. The victim died Saturday after witnesses say 53-year-old Francisco Arreola ran a stop sign and hit the boy while he was riding his bike in the Rock Springs Mobile Home Park. Arreola was arrested on several charges, including DUI manslaughter, and we uncovered that this was his 3rd DUI violation, something people living in the community say is frustrating.
It's his 3rd DUI. This isn't the first time this has happened. These people sit there and get 3 and 4 and 5 DUIs and keep doing it.
Arreola will stay behind bars without bond. People in the community are calling on management to make safety improvements. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and once again, dozens will gather to honor the civil rights icon at the annual Arthur Pappy Kennedy Prayer Breakfast. This is video from last year's event held each year on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The breakfast also celebrates Orlando's first African-American City Council member, and today's breakfast begins at 7:30 at First Baptist Church of Orlando.
And turning back to your weather, Candace, anyone heading out to celebrate the holiday, they're going to want to bundle up.
Oh, for sure. Temperatures this afternoon are barely going to get into those 50s throughout most of the day. So right now, though, you might be saying, well, it's 50 degrees right now outside. Well, that means that temperatures are really not going to be warming up much. Our highs are actually happening this morning, and we're going to continue to see those temperatures slide even colder into the afternoon. We got some cloud cover in place, and that cold air will continue to make its way into central Florida. But notice all this cloud cover out towards the Gulf of Mexico. This is all going to continue to surge into central Florida, really kicking up by tomorrow morning, and rain chances are going to increase significantly tomorrow while conditions stay chilly. Right now, radar, we were tracking just a little bit of light rain that since has fizzled off. We got that cold air that's really starting to take control. Right now, we're at 42 in the Villages and DeLand. We're starting to see those temperatures along I-4 starting to drop right now. Seminole County, you guys are at 46. Still on the mild side, though, from Orlando southward. But you can see how quickly that cold air is taking control along that strong breeze. Our wind gusts today right now already kicking up between 20 to 25 miles per hour. Now notice, temperatures are not going to fluctuate much. We might warm up a bit further into the afternoon, but still staying about 20 degrees below average for this time of the year. We'll have more details on the dry Monday, but a very soggy and cold Tuesday in store. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Candace. 6:10, a new push in Tallahassee to keep school start times from changing.
Coming up, the newly proposed bill aimed at preventing the pushback of the morning bell.
Plus, a close call caught on camera as 2 men narrowly escape a train crash. The decision they made in just seconds that saved their lives.
In the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas holding the hostages and prisoners already freed, and when more are set to be released.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Orlando Health.
Coldest inauguration in 40 years. They're moving the ceremony indoors. Next, Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on News 6.
A terrifying scene caught on camera in Washington state as 2 people narrowly escaped being hit by this Amtrak train. The driver of the semi-truck says he made a wrong turn Saturday and got stuck between another truck and the train tracks. By the time he tried to back out, it was too late. Both the driver and the passenger said they had just seconds to make a life or death decision.
As he's running away from the truck, smack. The truck got hit. The engine literally flew out the truck like 30 feet ahead.
That train was carrying 150 people at the time of the crash. Thankfully, no one was hurt. New this morning, a bill filed in Tallahassee could roll back a school start time requirement set to go into effect next year. In 2023, lawmakers changed the law to require school districts to start middle school classes after 8 a.m., high school classes after 8:30. Supporters said the changes would help teens get more sleep, but districts have pushed back, citing scheduling issues for buses. The bill is expected to be discussed during the upcoming legislative session beginning March 4th. A theater in Paris went to the dogs over the weekend, literally.
More than a dozen pooches and their owners were treated to a very special movie screening. After a bit of sniffing and barking, 18 dogs were treated to a private screening of Walt Disney's 1955 movie, Lady and the Tramp. The theater says it's planned on holding more pet-friendly screenings, including the showing of the 1992 movie, Beethoven, you know, about the St. Bernard who gets adopted after escaping a pet store.
Just noticed that that's in Paris.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't hear that the first time. They're so animal friendly in Europe. that it's amazing. They treat your animals like children there.
I wonder, instead of popcorn, if they did spaghetti.
Oh, cute.
For Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
That would be cute.
I'd be signing up for that.
Yeah. My dog used to love watching the puppy bowl. So, I mean, they like watching TV.
They
You leave
do.
the TV on sometimes.
Bluey.
Bluey.
Dogs love the kid show Bluey. Seriously, like try it for your animal.
They
You'd be
also pick
amazed.
colors that dogs can see.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah, you can totally dive into that. All right, let's talk about your weather forecast.
Gotta
Now-
take care of them, right?
I know. All right, what's ahead?
Who has kids?
For the next couple of days, we are going to be kind of bottoming out. Temperatures are barely going to get into the 60s. For the next 4 or 5 days, it might be towards the weekend until we actually get temperatures back into the 60s. In the meantime, though, 40s and 50s, that is where our highs will be staying this afternoon. Conditions looking mostly dry. If you need to get some stuff done outdoors and you don't want to be dodging cold, rainy weather, today is the day to do it, because starting Tuesday, Wednesday, lingering into as late as Thursday, rain chances will stay high. We have a cold front to the south, moisture streaming in from the Gulf. The combination of that is going to make it not great looking weather. Although, meteorologist hat here is on, we do need the rain. But some of that rain is actually going to come in the way of snow and sleet for parts of North Florida, not Central Florida, as most of that weather will stay just kind of along I-10 and further north. So this is the main setup right now. We have that blue air mass that's starting to come in, that cold Arctic air, some of the coldest air parts of the Panhandle have seen in years. Here in Central Florida, we're still kind of stuck under all that cloud cover, so the temperatures aren't as chilly. But then as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, this same cold front really enjoys staying here in Florida. We'll stay stationary for the next 3 days. But along that cold front, we're going to see little disturbances roll through parts of the state. Because of that, what happens when we get rain over freezing temperatures? There'll be some snow. Not for us, but for the Panhandle. Temperatures out the door right now. Upper 30s right now in Flagler County, 41 in the Villages. But we are certainly a little warmer the further south you go. But notice temperatures, especially across our southern zones, really won't be warming up much as temperatures will continue to cool today. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Monday.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
So temperatures, again, barely getting out of the 40s in some spots. Tonight, it will be colder. We're going to clear out those skies. We'll be into those 30s and low 40s area-wide. But notice those rain chances extremely high. This is not kind of a one round of rain. This is going to be off and on rain, something that we normally don't see in January, but this is what the setup looks like. Throughout Tuesday morning, we'll start to see the rain, the clouds surge in. Rounds of rain continuing into Tuesday, Wednesday as well. Look at some of that sleet being picked up as far south as about Gainesville. That's some freezing rain potentially. Here in Central Florida, though, the rain continues into even early Wednesday, and it's not until about Wednesday afternoon that we'll finally start to seeing those skies start to clear. But again, rain, snow, sleet, all will be possible across parts of Florida. But how much snow? Some of the models are picking up to 4 to 8 inches of snowfall across parts of Panama City, Tallahassee. Locally here, though, it's just going to be cold, rainy, and dreary for tomorrow. We'll finally see that sunshine by the end of the week. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
That blows my mind. I lived in Bay County for, 3.5 years up in the Panhandle, and just the thought of that, that's kind of crazy. All right, 192, no snow. Don't have to worry about any of that. No construction either today, but tomorrow we could start to see some of that in the evening. No school down in Poinciana, Osceola, so what are we seeing? Pleasant Hill, no traffic this morning. Nice and clear as you approach the Orange Blossom Trail area. Great Friday night out with the Sheriff's Office out there patrolling this area. West Side, got to ride out with them. Real uneventful evening, which is a good thing, but for right now, I-4 running smooth. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. Questions surrounding the future of one space startup in Brevard County.
At the bottom of the hour, the answers we're working to get after learning the company got an eviction notice.
This portion of the news is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
Because of you, the insurance people decided that they're going to help. You did it. Channel 6 did it. And that I will say thank you.
Properly cleaning and maintaining a window track could keep that window from getting stuck. For more DIY tips, watch Getting Results at Home, sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Well, still to come on News 6 Mornings, TikTok given a second chance in the U.S.
Ahead, after briefly going dark, the deal reached that restored the social media site to millions of users.
It's all in the Plus. Download the News 6 Plus streaming app on your smart TV or streaming device to start watching today.
President-elect Trump set to be sworn into office in just hours. News 6 is in Washington with how the weather's impacting the plans for some Central Floridians.
Plus, TikTok is officially back in the United States just hours after it went dark. The steps soon-to-be President Trump is taking to make sure it stays.
But first, temperatures drop drastically overnight. Candace says we won't be seeing a big warm up for our Monday ahead. And good morning, Central Florida. I'm Bridget Ellison.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. Thanks for staying with us on this Monday. We want to start with a check of your pinpoint weather with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. A lot going on today and a lot in the weather department, too.
I know. We have dropped about 5 degrees since I walked in this morning at around 3 a.m. So we are going to continue to see temperatures drop as that cold air continues to filter in from the north. So it is going to take some time, like it always does. But for today, we're going to be looking mostly dry. We got that cloud cover that we got to get out first to really enjoy the afternoon. But just want to let you know that that dry weather is going to last for one day. One day only, because we're talking about a good dose of rain both Tuesday and Wednesday. In the meantime, though, we do have freeze warnings in effect for Marion and Flagler County, as some temperatures could get down to sub-freezing temperatures. Cold weather advisories remain in place as well for those same 2 counties, including you guys there in Sumter. This is not area-wide. That cold weather looks to be more likely as we get closer towards about 8 and 9 o'clock tonight, as those cold conditions continue to kind of take over. We're at 40 right now in Ocala, in the upper 30s in Flagler, but notice we're still in the 50s the further south we go. I'm telling you, temperatures aren't warming up much. It's almost flatlined here. That's not a good thing in some departments. 53, that's going to be our high this afternoon, but again, rain chances will be surging while temperatures stay chilly. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways. Trooper Steve, if I was a doctor, that would not be a good sign. This, it just means it's cold.
Yeah, it was funny because anytime her and I say something that we stand behind, we're just like, yep. It's like, okay, that's not a good sign there. What is nice this morning, at least in my department here in traffic, it's a holiday. Not much going on out there. Eastbound I-4 at World Drive, nice and smooth this morning with no delay either out by 535. How's 429 looking by the Turnpike? Smooth as butter with no problems north or southbound. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. The countdown is on in Washington, D.C. President-elect Trump set to be sworn in for his second term in just a matter of hours.
He's promising a, quote, historic first day with dozens of executive orders.
I will act with historic speed and strength and fix every single crisis facing our country. We have to do it.
And the extreme cold we've been talking about causing some big changes for today's events.
News 6 anchor Matt Austin is live in Washington, D.C. And Matt, you've been talking with Central Floridians who are worried the temperatures will derail their Inauguration Day plans.
Yeah, and it's so brutally cold here, about 20 degrees this morning. The coldest inauguration, in fact, in the last 40 years. And that's the last time when President Reagan was sworn in that the ceremony was moved indoors. For that reason, President Trump has decided to take the oath of office inside the Capitol Rotunda, as you can see behind me. And with all of these changes in the last second, Central Floridians are worried they might be left out in the cold.
Matt, I bet you have those long johns on now. So you found out that those ladies that you interviewed did end up getting some good news, though.
Yeah, so when we landed, that's actually took a turn as well. When we landed, they had an email that said if you would like to watch the parade from inside the Capital One Arena, go click through this thing and do some stuff. And so they were all excited and high-fiving. But then I later found out that might get you into the arena, but to get decent seats, you have to go and wait outside the arena. And this morning I flipped on the local news. There are tens of thousands of people waiting out in this cold. And another Central Floridian I've been talking to got out there at 4 a.m. to start waiting to get decent seats inside the arena. So I don't know what those ladies are dealing with right now, but they might be waiting out on a cold sidewalk like I am.
I hope they definitely stay safe and warm. It is one of those things where you just have to be prepared for anything. All right, Matt, thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll see you a little bit later. And be sure to keep it here on WKMG. CBS News will have special coverage starting at 9 leading up to the swearing-in ceremony, which is expected to begin at about 11:30, and special edition of News 6 at 1:30 p.m. And then we'll return you to Washington for coverage of the presidential parade. We'll also be streaming all of today's events live on clickorlando.com.
TikTok is back in the United States. Just 15 hours after the app went dark, service was restored yesterday, and users were met with a message that said President-elect Trump's efforts helped bring it back. News 6's Mark Lehman is live. And Mark, what are the next steps to make sure that the app stays active here in the U.S.?
Well, the first thing is an executive order following today's swearing-in ceremony. After that, President Trump has said he wants to craft a deal to keep TikTok up and running here in the United States. But as of now, that also means that the company would have to be sold to a non-Chinese buyer.
Today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Events are being planned all over Central Florida, remembering the legacy of the civil rights icon.
And that includes several parades. They're being held today in Ocoee at 10 a.m., Oviedo at 10, and Sanford at 10. Apopka will hold a parade at 2 p.m., and a Unity March and Festival is also planned starting at 10:30 at Stetson University in DeLand. This caps off a weekend full of events, including the annual parade in downtown Orlando on Saturday. Many are also using the long holiday weekend to complete service projects in Dr. King's honor. And Candace, I feel like we are on this roller coaster ride you've been talking about for, what, a couple weeks now?
Yeah.
And we're, going down.
The roller coaster ride has ended for a little bit. It's where it's like just kind of flat for a bit. But it's going to be cold for a little bit. So there was no big weather whiplash. That happened over the weekend and into today. And now we're going to just kind of stay on that cold trend, although we will not be as cold as poor Matt Austin sitting on the sidewalk there in Washington, D.C. It's the same air mass, though, that is going to be bringing this chilly temperatures here into Central Florida. We're at 40 in Ocala right now, 39 in Palm Coast. But notice further south we go, we're about 10 degrees warmer as that cold air continues to take over. Mind you, compared to what we saw about 3 hours ago, temperatures are about 3 to 5 degrees colder already. So that cold air is settling in all along that strong breeze that's continuing to pick up, gust upwards about 18 to 25 miles per hour. So although I know today's not an ideal beach day, some folks might be wanting to enjoy it. We do have a moderate risk of rip currents as well as a UV index still in that moderate range. Now, temperatures are going to continue to stay chilly. We're going to stay in those 30s and 40s, but notice what happens across parts of Central Florida. Rain chances are going to be surging back in from that stalled out boundary, but then notice what's going on right here into the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about a lot of moisture that will be streaming in for the next 2 days. We'll have more details on the timing of that and the winter weather mix in coming up in just a little bit.
Candace, thank you. 6:40, a company promising something new in the future of space now facing an eviction notice.
Coming up, the answers we're working to get after learning it owes tens of thousands of dollars in rent. But first, a man arrested after deputies say he lured in a young girl and carried out a sex attack. Why he's set to face a judge for a second time later today.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
We watch Channel 6 News every morning, and I'm like, okay, I got to give it a shot. They get results, absolutely get results.
We're waiting for answers from Space Perspective this morning after learning the company was served with an eviction notice over unpaid rent. The company is promising to take paying customers to the edge of the earth in a balloon, but records show they're being evicted because they owe more than $90,000 in unpaid rent to the Titusville Airport, where they're headquartered. The company has sold nearly 1,800 tickets for the flights at $125,000 a pop.
It's looking terrible. They cannot move forward if they don't have a facility to build and test their balloon.
We've reached out to the company for comment, but we haven't heard back. We'll let you know what they say. The Year of the Snake is upon us, and here in Central Florida, people are hoping to start the Lunar New Year right. That included a special festival this weekend at Luminary Green Park in Orlando. We got a look at the setup for the event which included food and performances highlighting the diverse cultures of the Asian continent. The Lunar New Year will officially begin next Wednesday, the 29th.
And one thing I talked to them about last week when we had a guest on from the arts group, they said that they give out red envelopes with money.
Oh,
so
okay.
You know,
got my attention.
There's still some other events happening.
All right.
I was like trying to find something positive about the snake idea, and I'm just like,
the Year of the
you
Snake.
guys talk about
Yeah,
this.
Year of the Snake. Well,
yes.
Happy New Year, everybody. Well, it's been a very cold New Year for us here in Central Florida. Temperatures later on today, we're just gonna stay chilly. And there, I got my Florida snowman in place. Is that my mic? Is my mic acting crazy?
Every time Steve wiggles.
Oh, it's Steve's wiggling.
Is it?
Is it me? I hope not. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to move. All right, let's talk about your weather forecast. That wasn't a dance. That was just me moving my mics. All right. Looking here at the weather headlines, we've got the Florida snowman. It is going to be a very chilly day if you're planning on heading out to the beaches, though. Do be aware we have a high risk of rip currents out there, even though you're not. Why would you be in the water anyway? But plenty of clouds in place. We will start to see those skies clear into the afternoon. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday, it is going to be a completely different story. We are keeping the cold air in place, but we're going to start riding plenty of rain into the forecast, which is going to make it kind of raw and kind of bitter tomorrow. Just to be aware, it's not going to be ideal weather Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain gear and the layers will be needed both Tuesday and Wednesday before we really start to dry things out. Still staying pretty chilly, though, as we end the week. So here's kind of the wide view of what's going on right now in the atmosphere. We have a cold front that has finally slid south of the Sunshine State. That cold air will continue to kind of filter in on the backside. So it's going to be cold and dry for one day only. Then this cold front is going to start sliding a little further to the north. That cold air will stay in place, but we are going to be tapping into a couple little rounds of disturbances that are going to be rolling in from the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to be riding in across our northern zones, the Panhandle, the Big Bend area. That means that wintry weather could be expected starting tomorrow night. So temperatures out the door right now. We're continuing to drop those temperatures. We're now at 46 in areas of Seminole County. Just a few hours ago, you were in the 50s. We're at 39 in Palm Coast. We're at 41 degrees there in the Villages. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
All right, temperatures this afternoon will be staying pretty much where we are right now. Barely getting into the 50s in many spots. So we're running about 20 degrees below average for this time of the year. Then tonight, the skies will clear. That cold air will finally be here, which is why temperatures will be much colder tomorrow morning. 30s and 40s in the forecast. Once we get there, the rain starts to surge back. So look at the rain coverage by daybreak tomorrow, by 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. As you're trying to head to work and school, we will be dodging some rain. It won't be constant rain, but it's going to be those waves. Think of like tropical systems. Although this is not tropical, we are going to continue to see off and on rain. There will be the potential of even some sleet as far south as about Gainesville Tuesday night and into Wednesday, with more rain streaming in throughout at least Wednesday afternoon before things really start to dry out. So again, rain, snow, and sleet will be possible across parts of the Panhandle here in Florida. No snow, but probability remains very high across the Panhandle, at least as we head into Tuesday night and into Wednesday. In the meantime, cold and rainy for us tomorrow and Wednesday, but more sunshine by the weekend. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Yeah, it's like the slushy effect taking place out there. So just make sure you're taking it nice and easy over the next probably 48 hours. So I do have a crash out on the west side right now, Colonial at Powers, so please be careful. And also some major delays right now along Simpson, right between Buenaventura and Fortune. So this is going to be north and southbound. A lot of construction out here. Then we do have a minor crash, so just be cautious. But over in the Pine Hills area, things are nice and clear. Lockhart, 429, running up to speed, and then 408 as you approach downtown, all clear. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Trooper Steve. It is Inauguration Day for President-elect Trump, what he's promising to do right after taking the oath. Next, as we check our big stories.
Discover the magic of color at Crayola Experience, Orlando's most colorful hands-on family attraction.
Curious about the weather? Jump into WeatherWise on News 6 Plus. It's your go-to for a deep dive into weather. Sure, I'll catch you up on the current conditions, but we are going way beyond that. Join me for WeatherWise on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com.
Whoa, what is happening?
We're packing up our newscast and taking it on the road. So let's go.
Every month, we're broadcasting from a different community.
Want us to come to your neighborhood?
Go to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad and tell us where to go next.
It's 6:54. Let's check our big stories. President-elect Trump is set to be sworn in for his second term today. Trump has promised a long list of executive orders after taking the oath of office, covering everything from immigration to oil drilling. We'll have full live coverage of today's events here on WKMG. Mark?
And this morning, TikTok is crediting the president-elect for getting its app back up and running here in the United States. It went dark Saturday night, all because of a new law forcing the platform to sell to non-Chinese-backed owners. But that changed hours later after Trump said he would issue an executive order to delay the ban. The question is, how long will it last? Lawmakers, including some Republicans, say Trump has no legal basis to delay the ban, and they maintain that TikTok is a national security risk. Bridget?
Mark, the man accused of hitting and killing a 6-year-old in Apopka will be staying in jail. A judge denied bond for Francisco Arreola yesterday, one day after he was arrested on DUI manslaughter charges. It was his 3rd DUI violation.
It's going to be a chilly start to the day in some areas, in the 30s now in Marion County. Now, throughout the afternoon, temperatures are going to try to warm up a bit, but we are going to be staying in the low 50s for your highs today. We're looking mostly dry, but then prepare for a lot more rain, chilly conditions as well Tuesday and Wednesday, as we are going to see moisture surging in from the Gulf of Mexico. Decent shot for rain. That's going to be in the forecast after chilly conditions overnight. We are going to keep the rain in place till about Thursday before temperatures bottom out even further come Friday. So get ready, everybody.
Traffic is interesting out there. Just make sure you take it nice and easy.
Thank you for joining us. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories and podcasts in our new 6 Plus app for your TV.
And CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great day.
Are you a legit News 6 viewer?
Oh, yes, every morning.
So when you need to get results, where do you turn?
News 6, of course.